So I get off stage, and my buddy's like, yo, or I'm about to go on, and he's like, I don't want to throw any extra pressure on you, but Paul McCartney's here. And I was like, well, that's all the pressure.
That's not. Yeah.
And I also was kind of like, he's probably not here. There was only 40 people in the crowd. It was a late night Wednesday show. I get off stage. I try to take things up a notch. You're like, I'm performing for a Beatle.
Huge.
So I do like my best Shania Twain bits, because I know he's a big country guy. And so I get off stage and I walk right by him so that I'm like, all right, in the hopes that he'll wave me over,
right,
and we'll become best friends.
And for people who don't know, you
Paul
do
McCartney
music.
Is?
Paul McCartney was in Wings.
Yeah.
But for the people who don't know, you do a lot of music on your stuff.
McCartney was in Wings. It was him, Thomas Hayden Church, Tony Shalhoub. People forget. McCartney was a guest star and got bumped up to a regular.
Yeah, he was. He owned the competing airline, if I remember.
Yeah. That would have been great. Yeah, so I do a bunch of musical improv stuff at the end of the show,
right.
And which I was thinking about on the way over here. If you guys do another show, I was like, man, that was so fun.
Oh, we had a
the
blast.
Celebrity. Yeah.
And Paul McCartney will be there.
He will. I'll text him.
So what I want when I've got Adam Ray and Paul McCartney in a room is you playing guitar.
Amazing. I know about.
I'd rather just hand
chords.
it over to somebody else. Yeah. Let him do it.
Yeah. So I get off stage. I go over to him, and he's like, Adam, come here. He waves me over. Knows my name. I mean, which is,
that's
by the way,
mind-blowing.
Yeah,
you
because
like that.
I mean, it's only said once when you're on stage, and then you get off, and maybe you say it again. And so he waves me over, and he goes, great job. Starts quoting one of my bits back to me, and then I was just like frozen. I go, oh, thank you so much. I go, what are you doing here? He goes, oh, enjoying the show. What are you doing here? I was like, doing the show. And then we both kind of laughed. It was one of those things where you're like, if you're a guy trying to pick up a girl at a gym, and you're like, so what are you doing here? Like, just so nervous. And she's like, I'm lifting weights, you idiot. Stop staring at my tits.
You don't want to waste his time.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that was
only one we can't
Boy, I'm
say.
sorry. Oh,
so it's like a stupid one we can't say. Stop staring at my boobs.
Bosoms?
Yeah.
Boobs?
Bosoms is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Bosoms is creepier.
It's what my grandpa would say.
Yeah.
But
sweater
now
meat,
I'm going to start
that's
saying
fine.
I like it.
What'd you say?
Sweater meat.
Yeah.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah.
Do I need to sign something now?
Rapey, yeah. It's just consent.
You can say that.
That one sounds sweater
worse.
meat's okay.
Wow.
That sounds worse, actually.
I don't understand.
I know, but it's okay.
So if there's a hashtag below that picture that says Kendall Gill was staring at Adam's sweater meat, that's totally acceptable.
People love that.
Yeah. Fifth
The
grade
other
sweater
one,
meat.
FCC loses their mind.
They're playing
over the
Coachella
other one.
next year. All right. So I sit
Milk
down.
cans, all that stuff.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I sit down next to Paul, and he goes, sit down. He goes, it was great. He goes, let's have a drink. And he goes, what are we having? And I go, I mean, I'll drink anything. I'll do anything to you. I'm very vulnerable right now. Like, this is your world. I'm just living in it, Mr. Beetle. And so then he's like, let's get margaritas. And I go, yeah, obviously. Anything you would have suggested, I would have been like 1,000%. He could have been like, let's go vandalize a Baskin Robbins or steal a bunch of dwarves and sell them on the black market. Anything. Anything you say, I'm going to go, let's go do it. I'm driving. So then we get the margaritas, and even the way he was just like, margarita. Like, he just sounded like a song was about to start,
It's vocal and beautiful.
He's got a great musicality to his tone and his pipes. And so we get the drinks, and even just the waitress coming over, like, handing me a margarita. She goes, Mr. McCarthy, and then she gives it to me. She's like, Mr. Ray, look at me like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Get the fuck out of here. He did it. And so I take the drink, and we start cheersing, and he goes, what do we cheers to? And I go, to being best friends forever. And he goes, what else? And just kind of looks at me being like, just putting the kibosh on the future friendship.
Not doing that one.
Not doing that one, yeah. What else? I've already got plenty of friends.
I've got friends.
Yeah, I've got friends.
I've got better dead friends.
I've got better dead friends is the worst compliment.
He does that.
Yeah, he does.
He always, I'd rather visit the graves of his friends and hang out with most of the people I know.
1,000%. He's like, oh, you the guy who took the weird picture with Kendall Gill?
I remember you.
Yeah, I remember you. Mr. Dr. Sweatermeat. And
Gill says you're great with the mouth and hands. He's good friends with Kendall Gill. How would that be like the strangest?
I know
Kendall.
Yeah, I follow you on Instagram, yeah. So then he goes, how about to follow in your dreams? I go, even cooler. So we cheers. And then we're sitting there, and then what settles in is just the nerves of watching the show with somebody like this, where you want to just hope that you can enjoy the show and do what anyone would do in a show or a movie where there's comedy involved. You can look at each other and check in and be like, we're on the same page sensibility-wise. The nod of like, and enjoy the moment together. But I'm so nervous. In my head, I'm just like, don't get hard, don't fart. Like, I'm thinking of all these things of like, I don't want to do anything that's going to ruin the moment.
In that order.
Hard fart.
Yeah.
I think he's used to people being hard around.
I think so.
Yeah.
But, my wings never met McCartney, so I don't know if it's just going to pop and be like, hey, is that Paul McCartney? So we're sitting there, and I'm not listening, and then he would laugh, and then I would literally just see him look over at me being like laughing and look at me. And I would overcompensate because I don't even know what was just said. So then I would just laugh like a maniac and I go, dude, that was awesome.
Who was on stage?
Yeah, I don't
remember.
I mean, who knows? And there could have been, the show might have been over, you know?
Right.
And I'm just laughing at nothing. And so then we get up to leave and I'm like, all right, dude, I don't want to overstay my welcome. Like, this has been great. And I was like, and he's like, all right, cheers, mate. And I go, all right, matey, you know, and he kind of gives me a look and I go, I should have just left. And,
I ruined it.
Yeah, I ruined it. So we get outside and he's got this he's got this British manager who's just a caricature of a human being, just tiny guy, had maybe like 8 teeth, like was wearing a suit that was so tight. The guy looked like a child in an adult suit. And he was just like, we walk outside of the back and my buddy, Mark Saratello, who's opening for me this weekend at CB Live, was like, we got to go try to get a picture with him, right? I was like, for sure. I was like, on the show, I just shared a drink with him. We got to go roll the dice. So we follow him out to the back where he's about to get into his Escalade. And we walk up and we go, Paul. He goes, hey, fellas, how are you? And his manager's like, he's going to get on a plane at 8:30 in the morning. Like, you got to let him alone. Like, just saying, Mary Poppins.
Right
you know?
out of Mary Poppins.
Yeah. And we're like, hey, man, I don't know about Mary Poppins. Great movie. But then Paul goes, no, it's fine. They were on the show. Adam, Mark, how are you guys? And he's like, we can get a picture. Come here. So then we take a picture, and then I'm like, I got to shoot my shot with the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point, we've had on Sandra Bullock and Bill Burr and Jason Derulo and people that are of note to where I'm like, maybe that'll, you know.
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine? So I go, Paul, I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary here, dude. I got this podcast. I start giving a little elevator pitch, and I go, do you got any time tomorrow? And he's like, we're leaving at 10:30 in the morning for Shanghai. And I'm like, you could also just say no, man. That sounds like a really terrible excuse. You know, like we're all leaving for Shanghai at some point.
Heard that one all the time.
Yeah, I heard that one all the time.
Right.
You know, the things Ringo has told me. Like, you know, Ringo's like, I got to film a Bukkake video, you know. And sure you do, Ringo. And then he did. It was, you know, YouTube it. No. But so then I go, well, how about we'll come over? I go, come over at 8. We'll do 15, 20 minutes. And then he just leans in, puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, it's not going to happen. With a big smile. It just goes, but with a big smile of just like, I love that you're trying.
Yes.
Guy, God bless you.
Yeah.
And then he just, no,
but
it's
he's
going to happen.
so used to turning people down
Totally.
that he's good at it.
But he was so sweet.
Yeah.
And I go, fair enough, man. I go, awesome to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the margarita. He was like, anytime we'll do it again. I was like, I'll just do that. And he was like, all right, now you're getting creepy.
And
you know?
nothing.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you're like, God, I should have asked.
I know.
Do you like try to, do you have that moment like it's a hot girl that you want to contact, like start to like,
Oh, if he was online, I definitely would have been commenting on all his pictures.
Yeah. Trying to see if he'll react.
Texting the Kindle Gill one, be like,
That's
this could be us. You know,
great story.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, just even, so we got the picture. And so every now and then Facebook will throw it in the memories and you're like, I mean, I don't tell that story enough, quite honestly. I don't even do it on stage and I should because it's, just even meeting him would be cool enough to be like, oh, I've met Paul McCartney at the Improv. But sitting down with him, sharing a drink, like
having like people moments,
having rapport, you know. And I wish I would have stayed longer with him, but I was so nervous again to overstay the welcome. I was like,
you don't know what to do in those situations where you're like, are we friends? Am I being the weirdo that I hate? Am I being the guy?
I didn't want to.
I wanted too far.
Yeah.
Exactly. I wanted to avoid the moment of him looking over and just being like, "You can go now."
Or the weird thing where someone else goes, "All right, that's enough."
Yeah,
like the little guy comes over, hey, Paul's got to go.
Yeah.
And then you see him not go anywhere.
Yes.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah, dude. Or if somebody else comes over.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.